When you look at the people who achieve greatness, the one thing you will always notice is that they were willing to give up what was comfortable to gain what was powerful. Comfort is easy. It's seductive. It whispers to you every morning, telling you to hit that snooze button just one more time. It convinces you that watching a few more episodes won't hurt, that scrolling for another hour is fine, that rest and pleasure are more important right now. But greatness doesn't grow in the soil of comfort. Greatness is cultivated in discomfort and sacrifice, in those moments where you trade what feels good now for what will feel incredible later. Every time you choose comfort over sacrifice, you make a small withdrawal from your potential. And every time you choose growth over comfort, you make a deposit into your future greatness. When you sacrifice comfort for growth, you step into a different league of people. Most of the world chooses comfort. That's why most of the world settles. They settle for average jobs, average results, not because they aren't capable more, but because they didn't want to sacrifice for more. It's easier to stay in bed than to get up at 4 a.m. to train. It's easier to eat junk than to discipline your body. It's easier to gossip than to grind, but the easier path never leads to greatness. The harder path, the path filled with sacrifice, is the one that molds you into who you are meant to be. Sacrificing comfort is not just about physical action. It's a mindset. It's the mindset. It's the mentality that says, we'll do what others won't so I can live how others can. It's waking up with determination to face challenges head on. It's looking at the long road ahead and choosing to walk it anyway, even if it means walking alone. You can't hold on to your excuses and expect to hold on to greatness at the same time. You gotta put down one to pick up the other. Sacrificing comfort requires courage, because the moment you step out of what's safe, fear will meet you. Fear will try to convince you to go back. But if you can resist that urge and keep moving forward, you begin to discover strengths inside you that you never knew existed. Think about it. Every major breakthrough in history happened because someone was willing to sacrifice comfort. Athletes who sacrifice hours of sleep to train while others are resting. Entrepreneurs who sacrifice weekends and parties to build something meaningful. Students who sacrifice social life to master their craft. Comfort keeps you in the present moment, but sacrifice prepares you for the future. When you put in the effort today, even though it hurts, you are building a tomorrow that will shine brighter than anything you could ever imagine. Sacrifice also teaches discipline. The more you train yourself to say no to comfort, the stronger your will becomes. Every time you turn down the easy path, you sharpen your edge. You learn to master yourself, and self-mastery is the foundation of greatness. Because here's the truth. If you can't control your desire for comfort, the world will control you. Comfort will chain you, trap you, and rob you of your destiny. But when you choose to sacrifice comfort for growth, you begin to take ownership of your life. You are no longer a slave to impulses. You become a commander of your choices. Sacrificing comfort is painful in the moment, but powerful in the long term. Growth doesn't come with a pillow. It comes with pressure. Diamonds are formed under pressure, not in comfort. Muscles grow when they are torn and stretched, not when they're sitting still. Minds expand when they are challenged, not when they're idle. The very process of becoming great is a process of discomfort. You got to be willing to put yourself in situations where you are stretched, where you are pushed to the edge. That's where transformation happens. Most people want greatness until they realize what it costs. They want the success, the fame, the recognition, but they don't want the late nights, the early mornings, the countless hours of practice, the rejection, the sacrifices. But those sacrifices are the down payment on the life you want. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you are making a payment toward that life, and eventually those payments add up. Eventually you cash in. Eventually you reap the reward of the seeds you planted in discomfort. So ask yourself today, are you willing to give up what's comfortable to gain what's valuable? Are you willing to say no to the things that feel good now, so you can experience things that will feel incredible later? Comfort is temporary, but greatness lasts forever. When you sacrifice comfort for growth, you are telling the world, I refuse to settle. I refuse to live average. I'm chasing something higher, something bigger, something greater. Discipline is the dividing line between those who dream and those who achieve. Everybody has ideas. Everybody has goals. Everybody has a vision of a life they would love to live. But very few are willing to show up day after day and put in the work required to make it happen. Discipline is the daily decision to move forward regardless of how you feel. It's not about waiting for motivation because motivation is temporary. It comes and goes like the weather. Discipline is permanent. It's what remains when the excitement fades. It's what forces you out of bed when you're tired. What keeps you focused when distractions call your name, and what pushes you through the pain when your body and mind are begging you to quit. Greatness is not built in moments of comfort or in bursts of enthusiasm. It is built in the quiet, consistent grind of disciplined action. The truth is that discipline is not glamorous. Nobody applauds you when you wake up at 5 in the morning to train. Nobody cheers when you study while your friends are out having fun. Nobody posts about the sacrifices you make in silence. But discipline isn't about applause. It's about results. Every single day that you choose discipline, you are casting a vote for the future you want. Every time you keep your promise to yourself, you strengthen your character. Every time you resist temptation, you build endurance. Those small, consistent decisions compound over time until they separate you from everyone else. Success doesn't happen overnight. It is the harvest of daily discipline planned months and years earlier. Discipline requires clarity. You must know what you are aiming for, because discipline without direction is just punishment. When you are clear on your goals, discipline transforms from something you dread into something you value. You understand that every act of discipline brings you one step closer to what you want most. If you want to get in shape, discipline is choosing the gym over the couch. If you want to build a business, discipline is choosing the grind over comfort. If you want to master a skill, discipline is choosing practice over procrastination. Every choice is a fork in the road, and discipline is the force that steers you toward greatness. One of the hardest truths about discipline is that it doesn't care about your feeling. You can be tired, frustrated, heartbroken, unmotivated, it doesn't matter. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. The world is full of people who only act when they feel good, and that's why the world is full of average results. If you want to be extraordinary, you have to act even on the days you don't feel like it. That's when discipline is forged, and that's when growth happens. The days you least want to show up are the days that define you. Discipline is also about consistency. It's not about what you do once in a while. It's about what you do every single day. You can't eat healthy one day and binge the rest of the week and expect results. You can't work hard for a month and then take the next 2 months off and expect to succeed. Discipline is a lifestyle, not an event. It has to become part of your identity, something you embody rather than something you occasionally practice. When discipline becomes who you are, you no longer negotiate with yourself. You simply act. That's when progress accelerates, and that's when greatness begins to take root. Of course, discipline will test you. It will require sacrifice. You will lose sleep. You will miss out on pleasures. You will have to say no to things that everyone else says yes to. But every sacrifice made in the name of discipline is an investment in your future. You aren't giving up those things forever. You are trading them for something better, something lasting. The parties, the distractions, the shortcuts, they will come and go. But the results of discipline will stay with you for a lifetime. Discipline builds skills. Discipline creates habits. Discipline molds character. Those are things nobody can take from you. What makes discipline powerful is its ability to compound. One day of discipline feels small, almost insignificant. But stack 100 days of discipline and you have momentum. Stack 1,000 days and you have mastery. Small actions performed consistently lead to massive results. The problem is most people quit before they see the payoff. They give up too soon, not realizing they were only a few steps away from their breakthrough. Discipline means trusting the process even when you can't see the results yet. It means believing that your consistent actions will eventually bear fruit, even if it takes longer than you hope. Discipline also demands accountability. You must hold yourself to a higher standard than the people around you. People often say they want success. They say they want to live a life of greatness. But the moment pain enters the process, most of them quit. They imagine that greatness comes with excitement, applause, and smooth roads. But the truth is greatness demands struggle. Every champion, every leader, every person who has achieved something extraordinary has scars. They didn't get there without enduring pain. Pain is the toll booth you have to pass through on the highway to success. It doesn't matter how talented you are, how gifted you are, and much potential you have. If you can't handle the pain, you'll never see the promise. The process hurts because it strips away the old version of you. Growth requires breaking. Muscles only grow when they're torn and rebuilt. Minds only expand when they're stretched beyond their limits. Characters are only strengthened when they're tested. The very nature of growth is discomfort, and discomfort is painful. If you want to live in greatness, you must accept that pain is not your enemy. It's your teacher. It shows you what you're capable of. It reveals your weaknesses so you can work on them. And it molds you into someone who can carry the weight of success when it finally arrives. The problem is that most people run from pain. They think pain is a signal to stop, when in reality, pain is a signal that you're on the right track. If your dream doesn't hurt you, it's not big enough. If the process doesn't stretch you, it won't change you. Too many quit the moment it becomes uncomfortable, not realizing that they were right at the threshold of their breakthrough. They mistake the pressure for punishment, but in truth, the pressure is preparation. You cannot be trusted with greatness until you've proven you can endure the pain that comes with pursuing it. When you face rejection, when doors close in your face, when you fail after giving your all, it cuts deep. But that pain is part of the process. It's life's way of asking you, how bad do you want it? Most will turn around at the first and no. But those who are serious will push through 100 of no's to find the one yes that changes everything. Pain filters the weak from the strong, the pretenders from the committed. Anyone can start, but only those willing to endure the grind, the setbacks, and the heartbreak will finish. Enduring pain also requires perspective. You must learn to see beyond the moment. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. If you quit because the process hurts, you'll carry that regret for the rest of your life. But if you endure the pain, you'll reap the reward of success that makes the struggle worth it. Every scar becomes a story of resilience. Every hardship becomes a testimony of strength. The same pain that made you want to quit becomes the fuel that makes your victory so much sweeter. Think of the athlete who trains until their body aches, the student who studies until their eyes burn, the entrepreneur who works while everyone else is sleeping. None of them enjoy the pain, but all of them endure it because they know what's on the other side. They understand that pain is temporary, but quitting is permanent. Endurance is what bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Without it, you'll always stop short of your potential. Pain is also the equalizer. You may not have the same resources, the same connection, or the same advantages as someone else, but everyone feels pain. What separates the great from the average is how they respond to it. The average use it as an excuse. The great use it as a reason to push harder. Pain can either break you or build you, and the choice is yours. If you let it crush you, you'll stay stuck where you are. If you let it shape you, you'll rise to levels you never imagined. There will be days when the pain feels unbearable, when your body screams to stop, when your mind tries to convince you it's not worth it. Those are the defining moments. If you can push one more step when you think you can, if you can give one more rep when you're exhausted, if you can keep moving when every fiber of your being is telling you to quit, you discover a new version of yourself. You realize that your limits weren't real. They were just walls you hadn't pushed through yet. Endurance reveals hidden strength. The pain of the process also humbles you. It keeps you grounded, reminds you that nothing worth having comes easy. It strips away entitlement and replaces it with gratitude. When you finally reach your goals, the journey through pain makes you appreciate the victory more deeply. The sleepless nights, the setbacks, the sacrifices, they become badges of honor. They prove that you didn't stumble into greatness, you earned it. And because you endured the pain, you now have the resilience to sustain the success. Most people never reach greatness because they settle too soon. They start the journey with fire in their eyes, hungry for change, driven to climb higher. But somewhere along the way, when the applause comes, when life feels a little better than before, they stop pushing. They reach a level of a good enough themselves, it's okay to slow down. But greatness is not found in comfort zones and is not achieved by settling. Greatness belongs to those who remain hungry even after they tasted success. Those who refuse to let a little achievement blind them to the bigger vision that still lies ahead. Staying hungry is about sustaining the same drive you had when you had nothing. Think back to when you first started chasing your dream, when you were desperate for change, when you couldn't sleep at night because your vision kept you awake. That hunger was pure. That hunger fueled your discipline, your sacrifices, your willingness to endure pain. But as soon as people start clapping, as soon as you gain recognition, as soon as you hit a milestone, that hunger often fades. You start to relax, telling yourself you've made it. The truth is, the moment you settle is the moment you settle is the moment you start declining. If you are not climbing, you are sliding. There is no standing still in the pursuit of greatness. The most dangerous position you can be in is not failure, it's comfort. When you fail, you still feel the hunger to bounce back. But when you achieve a little success, comfort sets in, and that's when you lose your edge. Comfort whispers, you've done enough, while greatness demands, keep going. Comfort tempts you to slow down, while hunger pushes you to dig deeper. Those who reach the highest levels never let their hunger die. They stay sharp, they stay motivated, they stay relentless because they know greatness isn't a one-time achievement. It's a lifelong pursuit. Look at the champions in any field. The ones who dominate are not just talented, they are insatiably hungry. They win one title and immediately set their sights on the next. They break one record and immediately train to break another. They don't let yesterday's victory weaken today's grind. Hunger keeps them from getting lazy. Hunger keeps them focused when others are celebrating. Hunger keeps them working when others have gone home. And it's that hunger that creates legends. Staying hungry also means refusing to compare yourself to others. Too many people slow down. Too many people slow down because they look around and realize they're already, they convince themselves they've done enough because they're outperforming those around them. But greatness isn't about being better than someone else. It's about being better than who you were yesterday. The true competition is with yourself. Staying hungry means you wake up every day asking, how can I grow? How can I improve? How can I push further than I did yesterday? It's not about proving people wrong anymore. It's about proving yourself right. The challenge with hunger is that it must be fueled daily. Just like your body needs food to survive, your ambition needs fuel to thrive. You must constantly remind yourself of why you started. Revisit your vision, set new goals, raise your standards. Never allow yesterday's success to satisfy today's appetite. Hunger must be cultivated. Surround yourself with people who push you, not those who let you settle. Consume knowledge, seek growth, chase challenges that scare you. Hunger thrives in environments of pressure and progress, and it dies in environments of comfort and complacency. Staying hungry requires humility. The moment you believe you've arrived, you've already started falling. No matter how much you achieve, remind yourself that there's always more to learn, more to build, more to give. Humility keeps your heart open, and an open heart stays hungry. When you think you've mastered it all, you stop growing. But when you stay humble, you continue to stretch, to adapt, to reach for greater heights. Humility and hunger walk hand in hand. One protects you from arrogance. The other protects you from stagnation. There will always be voices telling you to slow down, that you've done enough, that you deserve to rest. And yes, rest is necessary, but rest is not the same as settling. Rest to recharge, not to retire. Rest to gather strength for the next climb, not to pitch a tent on the mountain halfway up. Settling is a silent killer of dreams because it convinces you to accept less than you're capable of. Hunger is the antidote. It keeps you restless, keeps you striving, keeps you chasing a vision that's bigger than where you are right now. Greatness is not a destination, it's a journey. The moment you think you've reached it, you've already fallen behind. The world is moving, opportunities are shifting, challenges are rising. Life will always demand payment. And the truth is simple. You can either pay the price now with discipline, sacrifice and effort, or you can pay later with regret, disappointment and missed opportunities. The difference is that paying up front may hurt, it may feel heavy, but it leads to freedom. Paying later might feel easy in the moment, but the cost of regret is far greater than the price of effort. Too many people delay the work, delay the discipline, delay the grind, thinking they can cheat the process. But the process always collects its due. You don't get to skip the struggle and still expect a reward. Greatness doesn't go on sale. It doesn't allow shortcuts. You either pay with your sweat now or you pay with your tears later. When you pay up front, you are making an investment in yourself. You put in the hours when no one is watching. You make the sacrifices others refuse to make. You stay committed to the process even when it feels unbearable. That payment builds compound interest in your future. Every early morning you wake up, every rep you push through, every hour you dedicate to studying, every temptation you resist, all of it is money in the bank of greatness. Over time, those investments add up, and they pay you back in the form of opportunity, skills, respect, and freedom. But if you refuse to pay up front, if you keep delaying the work, you accumulate a debt that life will eventually demand, and that debt is called regret. Regret is heavier than discipline. Regret eats at you in silence, reminding you of the chances you didn't take, the work you didn't do, the life you could have lived but did. It haunts you because unlike failure, which can teach you, regret gives you nothing but emptiness. You cannot go back and reclaim the time you wasted. That's why paying up front is always the smarter choice. The pain of discipline lasts for moments, but the pain of regret lasts a lifetime. The beauty of paying up front is that it strengthens you along the way. When you choose discipline now, it doesn't just prepare you for success. It prepares you to sustain it. If life were to hand you everything you wanted without the struggle, you wouldn't have the character to keep it. But paying up develops resilience, consistency, humility, and strength. It forces you to earn what you want. And in the process, you become someone capable of handling the weight of greatness. The grind doesn't just give you the prize, it makes you worthy of it. Most people live with a short-term mindset. They choose the quick fix, the easy path, the temporary pleasure, forgetting that the long-term consequences are always bigger than the short-term satisfaction. They eat whatever they want now and pay later with poor health. They waste time now and pay later with unfulfilled dreams. They slack off now and pay later with mediocrity. But those who think long-term, those who are willing to pay now, they enjoy the rewards for years to come. They sacrifice sleep to build discipline, and later they enjoy freedom. They sacrifice comfort to grow, and later they enjoy influence. They sacrifice excuses to stay focused, and later they enjoy results. The sooner you pay, the sooner you reap. Paying up front also creates trust in yourself. Every time you keep your promise, every time you do what you said you would do, you prove to yourself that you are reliable. That self-trust becomes confidence, and confidence is priceless. It's the belief that no matter what challenge comes your way, you will handle it because you've already been paying your dues. On the other hand, when you delay payment, when you constantly procrastinate, you break trust with yourself. You start doubting your own word, and that doubt slowly kills your drive. Paying up front is not just about external success. It's about building internal strength. Think about the farmer. He doesn't wait until harvest season to decide if he's going to plant. He pays up front by planting seeds, by watering the soil, by protecting his crops. The harvest comes months later, but only because he was willing to do the work early. Success works the same way. If you're not planting seeds today through discipline, through hard work, through sacrifice, don't expect to reap a harvest tomorrow. Life rewards those who invest now, not those who wait until it's convenient. The truth is that the world is full of people trying to avoid the cost. They look for shortcuts, hacks, quick schemes that promise results without effort. Shortcuts cut you short. You may skip a few steps, but you also skip the growth that comes with those steps. And eventually, the bill comes due, and it's higher than before. There's no escaping it. You either pay with sweat now, or you pay with regret later. The only choice you have is when and how you'll pay.